A very good morning to you. I want to take you into this for some must-see footage. This is the terrible part of the storm, Nicole, the driving in it, but then this is the funny part here.
Oh my, look at that. The animals having fun. Go take care of yourself.
Yeah.
All right, Jacqueline and Mark falling over in the blizzard conditions, and that was just when one of our reporters was saying, how are you handling the snow out there and handling your stability? And then boom, they just fell over.
115 kilometers an hour. That was the peak wind gust. We saw them this morning on their feet, and they'll be checking in with us throughout the show. Glad you're here with us. Hopefully you had a great family day yesterday. It was a monster of a storm out in the Atlantic.
That's right. Charlottetown, 80 centimeters of snow. That's a new record for the day. And the winds, hurricane force winds in Grand Etang at 176 kilometers an hour. And still some widespread power outages this morning through parts of the east.
And we are seeing a late start to some of the schools, buses delayed. Good news is the Confederation Bridge has now opened, so travel in and out of PEI. But as we look at some of the snow today, we do have an offshore low that's going to move through, so you can expect to see a little bit more, but nothing like what we saw on the
Not at all. And temperature-wise, -6 for Halifax. There's the peaks of the sun. The Gas Bay looking at about -9 for the daytime high. But as we move further towards the east,
travel was tough this weekend, and today is going to be tough as well as we still look at those wind chills. -22, -18. Of course, frostbite comes into concern when we talk about temperatures this cold. And these are records you might not want to be breaking.
Exactly. Record-breaking temperatures for Family Day. A lot of people I know were posting on social media, we're staying inside today because it's just too cold outside. That was the good thing to do.
Issue. Imagine being stuck in this and then the freeze over happened, but then Michelle, she was brave enough to do the polar bear dip. Could you ever do it?
No.
Me neither.
I can't imagine how cold the temperatures were in the water.
Oh, I know. She is very brave.
Very brave. So this morning, still cold, but not as cold as yesterday, of course, Rachel. We're going to get back into those blues. We like to see that on this map with temperatures closer to -15 for the daytime high.
I want you to watch out for Thursday, though, because Thursday, again, we're seeing that big dip in temperatures. We'll be talking about this throughout the hour. A very good morning to you. Lots of people celebrating Family Day yesterday with that nor'easter that rolled through. So a lot of people still off today. Halifax schools still closed.
Exactly. And across New Brunswick, some school closures as well. PEI, too. The whole city almost completely shut down. And a couple of late school starts. Now, our developing stories is the incredible winds and snow amounts. You have to stay tuned to see this. And record-setting extreme cold and temporary temperatures for some.
We're talking about a big dip again in Ontario. As you can see, not too much in the way of active weather going on. This is the powerful nor'easter. We'll talk about all of the details coming up. And tell us about your plan today, getting to the airport. How are the roads looking? That's some very dense snow, guys.
Wow.
Good luck on the journey back. Of course, they'll keep us updated.
That would hurt if you threw that.
Oh, yeah. I was wondering about Mark, because sometimes he does stuff like that.
Exactly. So how much snow did you see? Take a look at Charlottetown, 80 centimeters, Halifax, 28, Yarmouth, 50, and it came down very quickly. And we do have the additional snowfall coming through later on tonight. So through the overnight, Halifax being skimmed with up to 5 centimeters, and the southern Avalon will see about 5 to 10. And Rachel, we're talking about the next storm, too.
Yes, we are. This storm that's going to happen throughout the day today, especially in the overnight, that's when it moves through. This is offshore, but as we look at Wednesday and into Thursday, more of a direct hit. Not totally showing it here, but that's just the start of it moving in Wednesday evening.
And this morning, temperature-wise, Halifax -13 with the sunshine, so at least the sun is out. Montreal -21.
And the wind chill today in the Gas Bay still feeling like the -15. So we're talking about a lot of cold. Extreme cold warnings are in place for Quebec. They have been dropped in Ontario. And speaking of plowing, there will be plenty of that going on. Glad to see you here this morning. It's February the 17th. Rachel Schoutsen with you, and we're taking a look at your photos. The hashtag ATL storm. Some of these pictures are just epic. Alyssa G sends in this one. Look at her trying to clear her car out. This is in White Rock. Oh my goodness, I couldn't imagine this. I like this, especially the caption. Best picture to come out of ATL storm yet. It says, coming together to uncover a recent fossil. Digging out of the vehicle there, and lots of pictures looking just like this. JS Rowan tweets us this one. We'll also look at the Nova Scotia selfie. Yeah, nothing but snow out in Nova Scotia. That one is from Tim A. And then we look at Michelle's picture here, just a car completely buried, hard to get out to the snow. But let me show you something cool. This is also our country. This is in Vancouver on the beautiful BC coast. Maple Ridge as well, that taken by a drone. All in Canada. I want to show you Nate's report now. This is the mess in Halifax. Well, after a very wild weekend with a monster of a nor'easter, you can only imagine how terrible the travel is throughout the Maritimes today. Lots of road closures. The Confederation Bridge is still closed. And when we look at the snow on the ground, this is just snow impressive. Charlottetown got around 80 centimeters of snow over the weekend with this new system. We do have some more active weather on the way, an offshore low plus some sea effect snow that will be bringing some light flurries today, some stronger snow off to the western shores of Newfoundland, and also a new low in Ontario. In Atlantic Canada, it was a wild weekend for weather, and Michelle Mackey taking the polar bear dip. Very brave. Thank you for joining us this morning. We're going to check in with Kevin Yard in a second, but I want you to know that powerful nor'easter, it's out of the way. High pressure comes in place for the Maritimes, and another very cold day throughout Ontario. So let's go to Nobleton now, checking in with Kevin Yard. And Kevin, nice jersey. What's up in Nobleton today?
Skating.
Very nice, guys. Kevin, I still like the jersey. Gotta have some faith in the Leafs, right? Let's look at these temperatures here this afternoon. City of Toronto, minus 14. It's a warmer day today than it was yesterday, that's for sure, but still below seasonal and cold. And we're bracing for some new snow. A very weak surface low will come through, and you can expect to see some flurries tomorrow morning. As we look now, high pressure in place. Winds a little bit stronger today. That's the weak low coming into play. I want to take you now and show you this footage. Incredible. Many parts of eastern Canada as the nor'easter rolled through. Cold temperatures this morning, wind chill still coming into play. And before we leave, I want to check in with Jacqueline and Mark. Hey guys, in Summerside.
Plows are out and cars are moving.
All right, good news. I know there was a lot of discrepancy about the Confederation Bridge. Hard to get it plowed, but as for now, that is open. I want you to stay with us. Nicole Karkic joins the show coming up next, and we'll talk about some more snow in the Atlantic.
Okay, I'm getting ready to do the plunge. I'm at the Great Canadian Chill. Sears puts this on. I am very nervous right now. My body is screaming at me to stop, but it's all for a good cause, raising money to end children's cancer. I'm going to hand off the mic and do it.
Okay, Michelle, we're going to cheer you in on this. Are you ready? Okay, guys, up, cheer Michelle in 3, 2, 1, cheer!
Where did they go?
For the weather number, I got Michelle Mackey. Oh my God.
That happened yesterday.
Oh, it was for a good cause.
I know. The extreme cold warning was in place, though, when she did that.
I know. Brave Michelle. I'm glad it was her, not me or
Me
you.
too. Me too.
She did a great job. Okay, so our top stories, we've got incredible winds and snow amounts to show you from the east from that big nor'easter. Record-setting extreme cold for you in Ontario during Family Day, and temporary temperatures for some. So this afternoon, this is where I want to be. Calgary +1.
Oh, I
We've got
know.
Vancouver at 11 degrees, basking in the sunshine again for this afternoon, but a different story in the east.
Oh, totally different story. Imagine dealing with this much snow over beautiful, lush conditions. We'll show you some photos coming up throughout the hour. But when we talk about a ton of snow, 80 centimeters of snow here. Halifax got 28 centimeters, which doesn't seem like too much, but then the rain hit, and the roof of the Halifax Curling Club actually collapsed under the weight of all of that snow.
Exactly. And we do have a blowing snow advisory still in play right now. St. John, the wind gusts at last check about 70 kilometers an hour. But the Southern Avalon, still a wind warning for you. And we do have parts of Nova Scotia, blizzard warnings from Cartwright to Black Tickle as well, Rachel.
Yeah, and that's as the nor'easter continues to make its exit. This is what the temperatures are like this afternoon. So doing the big snow cleanup in Moncton, -9. And this is what the scene is in Toronto. Whelp room, and then the funny Mark and Jacqueline blown away in over 100-kilometer-an-hour wind gusts. Rachel Schoutsen here with you. Let's take a national look right across the country. You can see where the warmth is. Beautiful, lush green scenes in Vancouver. The buds are coming out on the trees. And then we go from Saskatchewan through to Ontario, out to the Atlantic, and we're all below seasonal this afternoon. Speaking of out in the Atlantic, Mark and Jacqueline still in Summerside. Let's check in with them right now. You guys are doing a great job out there. They're making their way over the Confederation Bridge later on today and hopefully back into Ontario. Travel, though, it has been very tough today throughout Atlantic Canada. Schools still closed through Halifax. Late starts for a lot of the buses out through New Brunswick, and it's all because of this. Too much snow in Charlottetown, the rain plus the snow in Halifax, very icy conditions. And when we talk about a little bit more snow, yeah, it is on tap today. We will see a low move through late day today, and it's just going to bring snow to the shores of Nova Scotia and also through to the Avalon. We'll also see some very weak sea effect snow as well. When we talk about some snow, the story is here for Ontario too. We have a weak surface low that will move through. You can see some higher amounts up to the north, but when we get through the GTA, less than 2 centimeters. A few of you may have seen some light flurries through Toronto this morning, and that was with just some sea effect snow. Let me show you another issue in Toronto though. That's the water main break. And of course, we think about the homeless in this kind of weather as well. The extreme cold. The extreme cold warning for Toronto has ended. Today is a warmer day, but still much below seasonal. When we look at Monday morning, this is some of the record-breaking temperatures. And I was just talking with Dr. Doug Gillum, and there is quite a good chance that the city of Toronto, Southern Ontario, will not go above 0 degrees at all in February. And that would be the only time, the second time it would happen since record keeping began. Pretty cool stat, literally. As we look at this afternoon, wind chills coming back into play. One thing that was nice about yesterday, we didn't feel the wind chill as much today. That's going to be back into the story this afternoon up to the north, minus 24 in Thunder Bay. That's what it's going to feel like. And let me show you this. An actual blizzard, but blizzard-like conditions. We did have a clipper move through this weekend. Today, nothing in the way of active weather, just dealing with those cold temperatures. But in Alberta, we're going to see the warmth later this week. Well, after a very wild weekend with a monster of a nor'easter, you can only imagine how terrible the travel is throughout the Maritimes today. Lots of road closures. The Confederation Bridge is still closed. And when we look at the snow on the ground, this is just snow impressive. Charlottetown got around 80 centimeters of snow over the weekend with this new system. We do have some more active weather on the way, an offshore low plus some sea effect snow that will be bringing some light flurries today, some stronger snow off to the western shores of Newfoundland, and also a new low in Ontario. And glad to see you here this morning. Rachel Schoutsen, Nicole Carkett, Chris Murphy off today. A lot of people were off yesterday for Family Day.
Exactly, and a couple of others off in the east because of Island Air Day and PEI. We had Heritage Day in Nova Scotia, but still another day off for many in the east because of the big storm. And we'll talk about the incredible winds and the snow amounts coming up. Record-setting extreme cold through the east and temporary temperatures for some.
Yeah, who's going to dip back down to below seasonal? You know, it's quite incredible throughout Ontario. If the city of Toronto does not go above 0 degrees in February, this will be only the second time ever since that's happened.
Wow. Well, we're definitely going to be tracking that here at the Weather Network. And we do have across the country another low that we're watching for the Maritime provinces. And we are also looking at the nice warm temperatures in the west. But let's go to the east where you can...
Oh, that's for sure. It really was, it's a good piece of video. If you haven't seen it yet, you'll have to stay with us throughout the show because we're going to show it to you.
Exactly. It's pretty impressive. Now, Charlottetown, 80 centimeters of snow. This was Sunday through to Monday. Sunday alone, you picked up 64 centimeters, which broke the record for that day. But the all-time day record is 74 centimeters, so still not quite there.
And that's a record you sometimes don't want to break.
Exactly.
When we look at this morning, minus 18 in Moncton, minus 27 in Sherbrooke, Quebec. We're talking about the extreme cold as blizzard-like conditions certainly came into play, and you pair that with the extreme cold as well. Good news is this extreme cold alert has been ended now throughout Ontario.
Because of broken pipes
Yes.
in the city of Toronto. I know subway services were impacted, people's homes completely ruined because of it. And the numbers, I mean, they show it. Hamilton, minus 29.1, set the old record it beat. 1866, so before Canada was officially a country.
Really, it's incredible when we look at some of these temperatures. Minus 35.4 in Muskoka. This does not take into account the wind chill that they were feeling as well. As we look at the jet stream, it has dipped so far south. This extreme cold has leaked into some places that, well, you like to get away and vacation for some warmth.
Exactly. Florida not as warm as you want it to be. Tennessee dealing with temperatures in the minus single digits for today. And looking ahead across the country, we will be seeing more of that coming up.
Hand up the mic and do it.
Where did they go?
For the Weather Network, I'm Michelle Mackey.
That happened yesterday.
Oh, it was for a good cause.
I know. The extreme cold warning was in place, though, when she did
I know.
that.
Brave Michelle. I'm glad it was her, not me or
Me
you.
too. Me too.
She did a great job. Okay.
This morning, we jumped into your forecast, we talked about the blizzard aftermath, the extreme cold, and new storms on the horizon.
We also checked in with Jacqueline Whittle and Mark Robinson, stranded in the east because of the storm.
Highlight of chasing this nor'easter for me was certainly when I got knocked off my feet. How embarrassing was that? I couldn't quit laughing because I was just saying how I have to stand there and be grounded.
And this pup in New Brunswick almost having as much fun as Jacqueline out in the storm.
And Massachusetts still being hammered with snow, and check out this video here. Wow.
And we'll leave you with this icy Niagara Falls.
See you tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. Eastern.
It's closer than you think.
Well, some of the coldest air of the season has been felt by so many people in Manitoba, Ontario, and Quebec. And unfortunately, the wind chills today, they're not looking too good. We're feeling the extreme cold here. Regina, minus 28 into the afternoon. Winnipeg, very close to that as well. The cold is really here to stay. So let's get away. Let's go to the Bahamas. I'll take a rainy day in Nassau at 28 degrees over a Canadian wind chill any day.